Alright. Reg, kindly share your screen. And people, Reg is going to share his screen and you're going to guide him through. Okay? Going to guide him through, read for him. And also, let me know, are your labs ready? Have you started your labs? Very nice, Sandra. Please be like Sandra. Mosembe, kindly follow the footsteps of Sandra. Chelsea, kindly follow the footsteps of Ridge. And everyone else as the followers, Sandra. Kindly be like Sandra and Ridge. Start your labs. All right, Ridge, take it away. And everyone else, ninaangalia hapa your engagement marks. I'm going to mark the marks right now in this hour when you're doing your labs in KC.
All right. Okay, so I hope everyone has started their labs. So mine is already green. I don't know why this one is telling me used $0 of $10. Is it charging me?
Well, it should charge you, but no, it's not charging you. Just do the lab, it's okay.
Okay.
All right.
So by the end of this lab, you're supposed to create and apply an IAM policy, password policy. You're supposed to explore pre-created IAM users and user groups. We are supposed to inspect IAM policies as applied to the pre-created user groups and add users to user groups with specific capabilities active. Locate and use the IAM sign-in role, and then experiment with the effects of policies on service access. So here's the diagram of the current environment with the listed IAM users and IAM groups. So we have users, we have AWS account, and then we have users who are divided into user one, we have user two, we have user three, and then we have the groups. So the groups, we have EC2 admin, we have EC2 support, we have S3 support. So EC2 admin, we have IAM policy. So EC2 admin should be assigned to user three, and then EC2 support user two, then S3 support user one. So if your lab is running, so click on the green button, it should open the environment. So just like we've been told, so the IAM is like a security guard of the cloud. So it ensures that every person of the system only does what it's supposed to do, nothing more. So start the lab. If all of our labs are running, you can just give me a thumbs up. All right. Thank you, Musembi. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Elfas. All right. So maybe someone can read our first task. So our first task, someone to read task one. Daniel, read task one.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that right now.
Okay. Somebody else? Someone to take us through task 1 and read. Alphas, Ivy, anybody?
Okay, task
All
one.
right. Okay.
Create an account password policy. In this task, you create a custom password policy for your AWS account. This policy affects all the users associated with the account. First, note that you are in, for example, Oregon. The upper right corner of the console page displays your region. In the AWS management console, in the search box, enter IAM and select it.
All right. So first, you need to ensure that your region is set to Oregon. So mine is okay. So region is US West Oregon. And then on your search bar, you're supposed to type search for IAM. So on your search bar, just search for IAM, then click on it.
Yeah, in the left
Right.
navigation pane. Shall I
Okay.
continue reading?
Yes, continue.
Okay, in the left navigation pane, choose account settings. Here you can see that the default password policy that is currently in effect. The company that you're working for has much stricter requirements, and you need to update this policy.
Okay. So if you are here, all of us, on your left sidebar, you'll see access management, user groups, users roles, and then scroll down to where we have account settings. So select on account settings. And then so we want to apply a change password policy. So I think they've changed because they've told us on the lab that choose change password policy, of which I think it's not here. So you'll click on edit. Right, Joy, because I'm not seeing where it's written change password policy. So click on edit. You click on edit. Once you've clicked on edit, there's when you open it for the first time, it's going to be on IAM default. So the password policy is on IAM default. So we want to change our password policy. So click on custom. So you click on custom, and then the minimum length we've been told to change it from 8 to 10. So here on password minimum length, you're going to change it to 10 characters. And then now configuring the policy. So you're going to check box all this, require at least one uppercase letter from the Latin alphabet A to Z. Require at least one lowercase letter from the Latin alphabet A to Z. Require at least one number. Require at least one non-alphanumeric character. All right. So you're going to check box all this. And then these ones are on other requirements. After password strength here, on other requirements here, you're going to click on checkbox turn on password expiration, and then you set the password to expire in 90 days. So you're going to set that one to 90 days. And then this one, you're going to leave it as it is. Don't check box this one because I think on the, it's been said select every checkbox except the checkbox for the password expiration requires administrator reset. So you're going to leave that as unchecked. And then allow users to change their password. You're going to checkbox that. And then checkbox on prevent password reuse. So remember 5 passwords. Okay, so for prevent password reuse, leave the default option of 5 passwords and then choose save changes. So after that, you're going to click on save changes. So click on save changes. So are we there, all of us? If you've done that, just give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, Alphas. Thank you, Ivy. All right. So let's proceed on. So I'm not going to do mine because I already did it. So I'm just going to leave it as that. And then, so that's on task 1. So summary of task 1. So you strengthened the password requirements by creating a custom password policy. The various password options that you selected have now made the passwords that the users create much more difficult to crack. All right. So password policies in the IAM affect every user under the account. So a strong policy ensures consistency and reduces the risk of your account maybe being compromised. So let's move on to task 2. So task 2, someone to read for us on task 2. I hope we have done task 1. All anyone who's been left behind, I hope you are all together on that. If you have done that, each and every one of us, just type on the chat done if every one of us has done that. All right, thank you, Alphas. Okay, thank you. All right, so someone to read on to task 2. Thank you, Abby. Thank you, Purity. Thank you, Fan. All right. So let's move on to task 2. So explore users and user groups. Someone to read for us task 2. Someone to read task 2. Chelsea. Anyone to read task 2?
Okay, in the left navigation pane, choose users. The following IAM users have been created for you.
So on the left. Okay. All right. Thank you, Alphas. So we are going to explore the pre-created IAM users and user groups. So this will help us understand how AWS structures access management. So on your left menu, click on users. So click on users. You'll be able to see user 1, user 2, and user 3. So click on user 1. Click on user 1. And then here on the summary page, under permissions. So scroll down under permissions. So scroll down under permissions. Well, maybe someone to note something here. Maybe you can just unmute and say what you've noted here on the permissions. I hope you are here, all of it. Once you've clicked on the users, click on user 1, then scroll down to the permissions. So here on permissions, so you see the permission policies are 0, so which means that no permissions yet, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. And then under groups, the next tab, groups, you'll see that also on groups, the user is not in any group yet, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. And then on the security credentials here, so here on the security credentials, so you'll see that they have a console password. So they already have a console password, right? Is that correct? Is that correct? Because we see here, we have a console password.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. So the next step is to explore the groups tab. So on your left navigation bar, now click on the user groups. Here on the user groups. So a user group is a collection of IAM users. User groups use groups to specify permissions for a collection of users. So we have 3 user groups here. The one that we saw on the one that was alerted on the when we're starting this lab, this one. So we have 3 user groups, these ones. So we have EC2 admin, EC2 support, and S3 support. So let's go through each and every group one by one. So let's start by EC2 support. We start by, let's see, on the, all right. So let's start by EC2 support group. So click on that. All right. And then let's go to the permissions tab. All right, before we go to the permissions tab here on users, what do you notice here? What do you notice here on the users tab here?
This group has no users.
Exactly. So no users have been assigned to this group. All right. So let's move on to permissions. So on the permissions tab, you are going to see Amazon EC2 read-only access. So that's a managed policy. So expand by clicking on this plus button, this one. Then just scroll down. So you'll see here on the statement, we have effects, allow action, easy to describe, easy to get security groups for VPC. We have those things. So maybe someone can say what you realize, or if you try to maybe try to edit it, you can't do anything, right? So it's a read-only access. So you don't have any access to modify this. So it's a read-only access. All right. Okay. So we move on to the next group. So we move on to the next group, which is the next group, which is S3 support group. So the next one is S3 support group. So click on it. What do you realize here on the users tab? So no users have been assigned to this group as well, right? Is that correct? Thank you, Fan. All right. So let's move on to the permissions tab. Now here on the permissions tab, we have also permission policies. We have one. You can attach up to 10 managed policies. So we have one policy, which is the Amazon S3 read-only access. So click on this plus button. Now here also you'll be able to see effect, allow action, S3. So these are the policy for accessing whatever you want on S3. So it's also a read-only access, which means you can't modify it, right? And we are told that these policies are in JSON format, so you can be able to see here copy JSON. So they are in JSON format. All right. Now we move on to the last group, which is EC2 admin. So go back to your user groups and then click on EC2 admin.
We are not able to see your screen, Rich. We have lost you, I think so.
Sorry about that. Lose my network. All right, so are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So we are on the last group, which is the EC2 admin. So on the EC2 admin, you can also see that no users have been assigned to this group. Now let's go to permissions tab. Now on the permissions tab, you'll be able to see the policies. So we have a policy, EC2 admin policy. All right. Maybe someone can tell me what they've realized between this policy and the other two policies on the type. On the other two policies that you have looked at and this policy in terms of the type. Yes, anyone? Maybe something that you've realized between the two policies. There's a difference.
This one, the type is custom inline, and the others were AWS managed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Nani ameongea?
Gideon.
Thank you, Gideon. Maybe someone can also just tell us the difference between inline, customer inline policies and managed ones.
This one you can edit.
Mm-hmm.
The manage one you can only read.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else with a different view on that? Maybe Joy, you can maybe explain that. All right. Let's. Okay. Yes, Joy.
Yes, Reg, come again, please.
We've realized that these policies are of different types. So this one is a customer inline, and the other two are managed. So the difference.
All right. So the customer inline policy, it's okay. So the customer inline managed policy, it is for one specific user or role or group. But for the managed policy, it's reusable across multiple users. You can use it among multiple groups and roles and can be attached to multiple identities. But for the customer inline, it's for just one single IAM identity. So, for example, like one user or one group or one role, and you manage it manually per person, so or per role or per group. But for the managed policies, you can manage all of you can manage it centrally and update it independently. And then for the customer inline, it's not reusable. So it's just because we've said it's just for one person. But for the manage, it's reusable. You can attach it many times. You can use it and attach it many times to multiple groups or even just one group. And it's easier to track the management of the managed instance. For example, you remember we said that policies can be version controlled, right? But for the customer inline, it's hard to track. It's hard to control it, to use version control on it, but you can use version control on the managed policy. You use the customer inline policy when you want to fine tune a specific person or a specific role or a specific group or a specific application. But you can use the managed for its use case is more of a broad use case. You can use it for multiple roles, multiple functions, multiple times. So that's the major difference between those two.
Thank you, Joy. I hope you've gotten that. If you've gotten that, just give me a thumbs up. If you've gotten the difference between the two. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Tony. All right. So let's proceed. So we are still on EC2 admin group. So the next step is to choose the permissions tab. So it has a customer inline policy. It is a policy assigned to only one user or group. Inline policies are typically used to apply permissions for one-off situations. Now, next to the EC2 admin policy, select the plus sign to show the policy. So click on this plus button, and then you can be able to view the policy. All right. So you realize that this one has an edit button, so it's not a read-only access policy. So you can be able to edit it, right? So you can be able to edit it. Is that correct? Yeah, so you have access to edit this policy. All right, so that is the end of task 2. All right. Is that okay? Is there anything you've left out on task 2? If that's okay, give me a thumbs up.
Rich, I'm just wondering,
Yes, Gideon.
can you hear me? For the which one was this for EC2 support and the other one, what makes it read-only?
Come up again with the question.
I'm wondering what makes the Amazon EC2 read-only access read-only.
For the
The
other
one
two
for the
groups.
EC2 support. Yeah.
All right. So just like we've been told that the other two policies are managed policies. And then this one is an inline policy. Is that correct, Joy? So the first two, they are managed policies that are pre-built by AWS, so they are reusable and automatically updated. And then the inline policies, so these ones are perfect for unique permissions, but the other two, they are pre-built by AWS. Ama, maybe you can just, someone who has an answer to that. That was just my view about the question that I'm releasing. Maybe someone with an answer to Gideon.
Did you open the policy to read it?
Yes.
Let me see the policy, please.
All right. So user groups, and then EC2 support, then permissions, then yeah. So we have the version, statement, effects, allow, action, EC2 describe, EC2 get security groups for VPC.
All right. So this policy, it's called Amazon EC2 read-only access. What it does, it gives you access to read, just to see the security groups for VPC, just to see the load balancing, just to see the CloudWatch matrices and the statistics. And for all resources, scroll down. Remember we said that the wildcard asterisk is for all resources to allow for auto scaling. And this is for, so this policy, it EC2 read-only access. So I think just scroll up kidogo tu, up kabisa, like on this other scroll bar, on the second scroll bar, yes. So policy name, and then scroll down, AWS managed. So the ones written AWS managed, these are the policies that are provided to us and they're managed by AWS. And instead of creating yours that can do this, you just use these ones. They are pretty easy to use. And this one, EC2, Amazon EC2 read only access. So it can just read the security groups. It can just be able to read the elastic load balancers. It is not allowed to change other things. But written EC2 read-only access, it's just the name of this policy itself. It's not like for all managed. It's just this, basically that's just this one policy.
All right. Thank you, Joy. Okay, Gideon is answered. Thank you. All right. So let's move on to task 3. So someone to read for us task 3. And remember to start your labs. Someone to read task 3.
Guys, please be communicative. Kindly talk, read, explain stuff, ask questions, comment. Your contribution is very low. This is a group discussion.
All right, someone to read on task 3.
Okay, I'll read. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'll read. Task 3. In the left navigation pane, choose user group.
Yeah, just
Choose
continue.
the S3 support group. Choose the users tab. In the users tab, choose add users. Are you following?
Yes, just continue.
In the add users to S3 support window, configure the following options. Select the checkbox for user 1. Choose add users. In the users tab, you see that user 1 has been added to the group.
All right, thank you. So let's start with that. Let's add user 1 to the S3 support group. So go to users group. So you're going to go to users group, and then you click on the S3 support. You click on the S3 support, and then here on the users tab, and then click on add users. So when you navigate to the left, to the right, to the far right, you'll see add users. So click on add users, and then we are adding user 1 to the S3 support group. So click on user 1, click on this checkbox, and then click add users. All right. So when you reload this, you're supposed to see user 1 on. User 1 has been added to the S3 support group. So you have one user in this group. So if you've done that, just give me a thumbs up to confirm that you're on the right page. All right. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Ivy. Thank you, Fan. All right. And then we move on to the next. So we've added user 1 to the S3 support group. Now add user to the EC2 support group. So you have add user 2 into a role where they provide support for Amazon EC2. Using the previous steps in this task, add user 2 to the EC2 support group. So we are going to do the same thing, but now we are adding user 2 to this support group, to this S3 support group. Now click again on add users. Add users, and then now we are going to have user 2. So click on user 2, and then click on add users. So when you come to users in this group, you'll be able to see user 1 and user 2. So you have user 1 and user 2 on the S3 support group. So you have 2 users on S3 support group. Then we proceed to the next. Add user 3 to the EC2 admin group. So you have hired user 3 as your Amazon EC2 admin, manage your EC2 instances. Using the previous steps in this task, add user 3.
Hello?
Yes. Yes.
We are supposed to add user T to EC2 support group, not EC, not S3.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. So user 2 is supposed to be on the next, which is EC2 support. Right. Thank you for realizing that. So just click on the checkbox to remove this user from this group. So I'm going to remove that user. All right. So go back to user groups, and then so the next one is EC2 support. So EC2 support, and then click on add users. So we are going to add user 2, right? So user 2 is on EC2 support. Give me a thumbs up if that's okay. So user 2 on EC2 support group. Thank you, Fan. All right. So click on add users. So now you'll have one user in this group. So we have user 2 on EC2 support, and then we have user 1 on the S3 support group. All right. And then we move on to user 3. Go back to your users and user groups. And then one thing you'll realize that this one has changed from 0 to 1 here. So you have users. Users here we have on the EC2 support, we have 1. On the S3 support, we have 1. So again, click on EC2 admin. And then on the users tab here, click on add users. And then now we are going to add user 3 to the EC2 admin. So click on user 3 and then add users. So our user 3 is on the EC2 admin group. And then user 2 is on the EC2 support, and then user 1 is on the S3 support. So we've added all our users to the groups, right? So let's move on to the next. If you've done that, all of us, just give me a thumbs up. If all of us have done that. All right. Okay, thank you everyone. All right, so let's move on to the next task. Someone to read for us task 4. Someone to read task 4. Yes, anyone to read task 4? All right, I'm going to choose. Abby, read for us task 4.
Okay. Task 4. In this task, it has the permissions of each IAM user. In the left navigation pane shows dashboard. The AWS account section includes a sign-in URL for IAM users in this account. This link should look similar to the following. You can use the link to sign into the AWS account that you are currently using. Copy the sign-in URL for IAM users in this account to a text editor. Open a private window using the following instructions for your web browser. So you choose your web browser and follow the instructions there. Paste the sign-in URL for IAM users in this account into your private window and press enter. You now sign in as user 1 who has been hired as your Amazon S3 storage support staff. Sign in using the following credentials. IAM username, enter user 1. Password, enter lab password 1. Choose sign in. If you see a dialog prompting you to switch to the new console home, choose switch to the new console home. From the services menu, choose S3. Choose the name of one of your buckets and browse the contents. Because your user is part of the S3 support group in IAM, they have permissions to view a list of S3 buckets and their contents. Now test whether you have access to Amazon EC2. From the services menu, choose EC2. In the left navigation menu, choose instances. You cannot see any instances. Instead, you see a message that says you're not authorized to perform this operation. This message appears because your user has not been assigned any permissions to use Amazon EC2. You now sign in as user 2, who has been hired as your Amazon EC2 support person. So sign in user 1 out of the, or should I continue, Amma? We stop past sign in.
All right, maybe you can just do the first steps. So on your left navigation pane, choose dashboard. So go to dashboard here, click on dashboard, and then under AWS account here, under AWS account where you have AWS account, account ID, account alias, sign in URL for IAM users in this account. So copy this URL. So copy this URL and then save it on your notepad. So let me just save mine. So save it on your notepad. So you just save it on your notepad. IAM. All right, and then the next thing we're supposed to do, open a private window using the following instructions for your browser. So whether you're on Mozilla, on Google, or on Firefox. So open a private or an incognito window. So you can you can just open an incognito mode. So open an incognito mode and then paste the sign-in URL. So the sign-in URL that you you saved on your notepad. So let me just find mine. So this sign-in URL. So paste it here. Then click on enter. All right, so it's going to ask you for a username and a password. So your username is user1, and then let's see, and then the lab password is lab password d1. Then the password lab password lab password 1. Yeah, and then click on sign in. All right, let's see the next steps. From the services menu, choose S3. So choose on this S3. All right. Choose the name of one of your buckets and browse the content. Because user is part of the S3 support group in AIM, you have permission to view the list of S3 buckets and their contents. All right, guys, what are we supposed to do here? Someone? So we have the S3 buckets here. So you remember user one? User one, we had assigned them to a user group, the S3 support. We had assigned them to a user group, the S3 support, and maybe just to look at the policies that were assigned to them. So users, it was user one. User one. So user one had a policy. We had a policy of allow only access to the S3 bucket. So we have S3 get, S3 list, S3 describe, S3 object lambda get, S3 object lambda list. So you have an option of a read-only access of the S3 bucket. So I think that's what we have here. Is that okay, guys? Hello. Is that okay? Is that what you're supposed to do? Anyone? All right.
Read amekupea hapo thumbs up. A few of them.
Okay. All right. So so this user has been given access that they can be able to read only the S3 bucket, right? So now let's go to EC2. So go back to your services. Just click on this AWS thing. So maybe let's see. From the services menu, choose EC2. All right, so maybe you can just search it on here. Just search EC2. Then in the left navigation pane, choose instances. You cannot see any instances. You cannot see any instances. Instead, you see a message that says you're not authorized to perform this operation. Okay, so let's see. So on the left navigation pane, choose instances. All right. So yeah. So you're not authorized to perform this operation. So you're supposed to get an error. All right. So is that what you are getting, all of us? You're supposed to get an error. You're not authorized to perform this operation. If that's what you're getting, give me a thumbs up. All right. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Fan. All right. Okay. All right. So so sign user one out of AWS Management Console. So sign out on, just sign out. So it's user one and then click on sign out. So sign out. All right. So again, paste the URL that you saved on your notepad. And then it should ask you for sign-in credentials. And then now let's go to user two. So user two. So username, you're going to enter user two, and then password is lab password two. So user two. Then password is lab password two. Sign in. And then now go to EC2 on the services. Go to EC2. If you don't see yours, just search here, EC2. So choose instances, you're able to see an EC2 instance because you have read-only permissions. However, you're not able to make any changes to Amazon EC2 resources. All right, so maybe let's just go again through the policy for user two. So users, and then let's see the policy that was assigned to them. So we have user two, then we have the policy. So we have get security groups for VPC, elastic load balancing, CloudWatch, auto scaling. All right. All right. So let's go back to see on our instances. So here are instances. Joy.
Yes, Rich.
They're saying you're now able to see an EC2 instance because you have read-only permissions. I'm not seeing an EC2 instance running.
Also, Gideon, so have you gone to the new console, the new user, and then Fanny saying you changed the region to Oregon. All right, Fan, to which region? To Oregon. Change your region to Oregon.
All right.
Yeah, it works.
Perfect. Thank you, Fan.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so change your region to Oregon. You'll be able to see your instances. So you have the instance there. So maybe just to let's try something. Let's see whether we have, because they were given a read-only access, right? So you remember user one and user two were given only a read-only access. So let's try and maybe stop this instance. Let's see if we'll, yeah. So you're not authorized to perform this operation. So it's because they're given only access only symbol. They are not able to do anything. All right. So let's move on. Thank you, Fan, for that. All right. Yeah. So if you cannot see an EC2 instance, then your region may be incorrect. So in the upper right of the screen, choose the region menu and select the region that you noted at the start of the lab, which was Oregon. Yeah, all right. Okay. Then from the instance state drop-down list, choose stop instance. So in the stop instance window, choose stop. So you're going to see an error message, the one that you've seen. So you receive an error that says fail to stop the instance. You're not authorized to perform this operation. So this message demonstrates the policy that gives you permission to only view information and does not give you permission to make any changes. All right. And then at the stop instances window, choose cancel. Next, check if user 2 can access Amazon S3. So at the stop instances window, choose cancel. Where is that? Stop instances window, choose cancel. All right. All right. From the services menu, choose S3. So let's go to the S3 service. So go back to your AWS. And then just search S3. All right. Okay. All right. See. You receive and you don't have permissions to display this message because user 2 does not have permission to use Amazon S3. So there's actually no S3 bucket that's listed here. That's why it's telling you to create a bucket. So it's because you don't have the permission to view S3 buckets. Is that okay? Is that right? That's why we don't have the S3 buckets listed here. Is that okay? Yes? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. Okay. Now let's move on to test user 3. So log out again. So log out, sign out. Sign out, and then paste that uh, the one that you saved on your notepad, paste it again, and then now you're going to sign in as user 3. All right, so so the username is user 3, and then password is lab password 3. So user 3, remember to restart your labs. User 3, and then lab password 3, then sign in. All right, so for the first one, from the services menu, choose EC2, and then in the left navigation pane, choose instances. So as an admin, you should now have permission to stop the EC2 instance. All right, so let's go to our services and then choose EC2. And then go to instances on your left navigation window, instances. So change your region here to Oregon. So you should be able to see your instances, web server instance. So now you can try and stop the instance and see whether it will be able to stop. You'll be able to have permission to stop. So click on the instance and then stop instance. Yeah, so successfully initiated stopping of that. So that means that the admin has all the access to do anything. So they have the edit access, edit and modify access. Right. We move on to the next. Oh, that's done. All right. So I think we are done. Right. Yeah. All right. So that's the end of it. That's the end of the lab. If you have done that and all of us have done that, just give me a thumbs up. Right. Yeah. So remember to submit, and then you can end your lab. Yeah. So that's the end of our lab. All right. Thank you, Salem. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you, Reg, so much. Thank you for everyone who contributed. Now your one lab is down, right? There is a KC. Reg, would you mind to take us through the KC haraka haraka? Just 5 questions and then we go for lunch.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so let's open our KC. So the KC is KC AWS IAM. So this is the KC AWS IAM. If you're there, give me a thumbs up. All right, thank you, Gail. So thank you, Brian. All right. So question one. Thank you, Basil. What is the goal of identity management? Identify all systems. Identify all systems that can be accessed by users. Detect security threats and notify users. Manage the responses to security threats based on user type. Administer users and their access permissions. Basil has said 4. Administer users. Ivy. Yes, thank you, Ivy. Administer users and their access permissions. All right. Next question. Which security steps are performed during a typical login? Select 2. We have prevention, authorization, activation, consolidation, authentication. B and E. Authentication and authorization. Thank you. All right. What is an example of an authentication factor? Encryption algorithm, authentication server, multi-factor authentication, firewall policy. C. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Fan. Thank you, Habakkuk. Multi-factor authentication. Right. Question 4. Where do you define the actions that may or may not be performed by a user? Where do you define the actions that may or may not be performed by a user? In the settings for the group that the user was added to, in a permissions document, in a policy document attached to the user, in the AWS identity and access management user settings. Salem Fan, they're saying C, in a policy document attached to the user. Is that okay? All right. All right. Okay, question 5. What is the best practice for identity management? Implement password policies, manage passwords manually, avoid single sign-on, use group accounts. Salem says implement password policies. Is that okay? Basil says that's okay. Alpha says that's okay. Habakkuk, that's okay. Nicodemus, that's okay. All right. Implement password policies. All right, so that's the end of our case for today. Do we have another case? Let me see. Do you have another case, Joy?
No. The next one will be for the afternoon. Thank you so much, Rich. Thank you, everyone. You guys, I really appreciate. So, hi. Without further ado, guys, you can rush for your lunch. If unainama, unaweza lala kidogo for the next 30 minutes. We meet here at 2 p.m. See you later, guys. See you at 2 p.m. sharp. Bye bye.